Hello, good morning. It's Diana Marchand from dianamarchand.com, and I help women lead healthy, happy lives full of passion and purpose. And welcome to this audio. Yes, not too often I do audios, mostly videos, but I'm sitting here, it's in the morning, my hair's up. I mean, you wouldn't even want me to do an audio right now, so I wanted to do something for you. Okay, so let's get started. What this audio is about is now, you may be somebody who's maybe done my programs, or you're somebody who's lots of recipe books at home. You have lots of recipe books. You have the equipment. You could have the blender, the food processor, maybe even a dehydrator. But yet you can't seem to stick to something you try. You're not, you go on again, off again. And then when you go off, you're really frustrated with yourself, and maybe even do the like, I'm going to eat anything I want because nothing seems to work. And, you try to sabotage yourself that way. Or you're easily persuaded by friends, family. And so then you're doing well, and then you get somewhere and there's food and people are saying, oh, come on, eat it. And you look great anyways. And what's the point? And, so you just get caught up in that whole thing, and back you go again to eating things you shouldn't. Which, it's okay every once in a while. But if you're getting for sure to the point in your life where you're not feeling good, you're bloated, maybe you're tired, you're fatigued, you're just stressed, you're overwhelmed, you're not feeling good. You have headaches, maybe you have digestive issues, you could have food sensitivities. There's things going on that you're not feeling good. And that's probably why you're listening to this, because you do have something going on in your body that you don't understand, you're not sure what it is, you don't know what to do about it, yet you're not feeling good. You're feeling like out of balance, and with your body is actually in dis-ease. So, right? You break it up, word disease, because dis-ease in the body comes before disease. So your body's always sending you signals, messages, and those are the uncomfortable symptoms. So if you have any type of uncomfortable symptoms, or suffering from really feeling tired, burnt out, exhausted, like flat, unmotivated, feeling very unmotivated, uninspired, and are just like reaching for something to make you feel a little bit better, then you definitely need to stay on this call, and you definitely need to do something about it, right? And at the end, I'm going to talk to you about a couple things that I offer that, of course, I think you should do because they're awesome, but it's up to you. So there are ways that you can start to feel better, and it's really about taking action and taking that time and really committing and saying, you know what, I am tired of this, I'm sick of this, it's time for me to do something. And that's when, of course, trying to do it all on your own, that you've tried it before, I'm sure you have, and it just doesn't work. Hey, I have business coaches and stuff like that. I definitely don't do stuff that I find difficult on my own, let me tell you that. It's a waste of time, money, oh, totally. But let's get back to the information. So I'm basically going to let you know a little bit about what I went through, and then, we're going to talk about some of the things you might be going through and what's going on, like what's going on behind it, and what you can do, and what you probably should be working on. But everybody's different, right? And it kind of about my philosophy, how important it is to realize that everybody is different. And so everybody and everybody, definitely, especially I find women, and because of the different ages, there's such a difference between being in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and even 50s, and then beyond for women, because our body is changing so drastically, right? 40 and over, that we do need to change things as time goes on, and that's really what I help women with. So if you are one of those people who, you love the recipes, you love looking at the recipes, you keep telling yourself you're going to make something, those recipes, you're going to start, and then you just don't, right? Or you may have started, and then, like I said, you go good for a week or two, or maybe even a little bit longer, and then bang, you fall right off it. Well, what is causing that? What happens? Well, there, of course, could be many, many things. What I'm going to talk about Part of what I'm going to talk about is the all or nothing attitude that I find funny. I tend to attract those clients, and I had to think, was I that way? Was I all or nothing? Because I'm not now. But I tell you, all or nothing is really hard to live with, because I guess a bit of a perfectionist, somebody who thinks, why start if I can't do it perfect? Why start if I can't commit 100% to it? And I hear this from women who come to me all the time. And I have to say, this is probably the number one thing that I run into, besides women saying they're tired, fatigued, right? Is, and they don't even realize that. Like, you may not even realize that you have this. Like, you may, well, I'm not a perfectionist. I don't think I have that. But yet, are you somebody who would say to me, yeah, well, I start and then I'm just not sure what to eat, and I'm not sure what the portion sizes, and I'm not sure, am I supposed to be weighing my food, and how much of this is good and how much of this isn't good. And, I start and then I get frustrated, or something comes up, and then I, eat a bag of chips or something. So then I just forget it. I just can't do it perfect. So right there, that's being the all or nothing. That is saying that if I cannot do it 100% and full on, then there's no use. It's kind of like saying doing it like 40%, 50% is no good. You might as well not do it at all. That, when it comes to healthy eating or exercising, is absolutely not true at all. Not at all. And here's the thing, because that is so black and white. That's like saying I might as well just eat bad food, not listen to my body, continue to feel the way I feel, because if I can't do everything perfect and feel perfect and have everything perfect, then why even bother? But that's not true at all, because any amount of good nutrition you put into your body is going to make a difference. Same with exercising. The person who consistently walks for a half an hour every single day, that short half an hour, maybe even 20 minutes, just walks, will do better, will have less stress, will probably lose weight, will have a fitter body, better lungs, all of that, than somebody who goes to the gym maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, but yet does a 2-hour crazy ass workout, right? So smaller, consistent steps sometimes is the way. It's good to start. Now, that means, of course, that once you get into it, you get in the groove of things, you can improve and do more and get better and better. But it's got to be at, for some people, it's got to be at a more comfortable state of increasing and increasing and increasing. Now, yes, there are others out there who can go from, and guys seem to be able to do this for some reason, from, like, they can either quit cold turkey, or they can start something and go full into it and commit to 100% and do it really good. And I've met women, believe me, there's been women in my programs who are so bloody amazing that, the length of our program, whether it's my 14-day program or my 30-day or my 8 weeks, they are full on they are like committed 100%, and they do it without cheating. And that, yes, you get results. Like, you get results, and you get results fast. But the thing is, can you maintain that? Can you stay at that high level of perfection for any length of time? I'm going to say most people can't. There's athletes that do it because they have something consistent that comes up. So it's like, women who lose weight before their wedding or get really fit, right? So if you you do that for your wedding because you have a target, you have a goal, you have something really specific. And then you get married, and then we know what happens, right? Over the years. But I mean, if you had a wedding every 3 months, which would seem super, you would have something to work towards. So that's like athletes. They constantly have a competition or something. So that's, of course, how they can do it, because they have something they're consistently working towards, and a plan, and something that they know, okay, I need to do this by this date. So that's what works. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about at the end of the call too. I have something brand new starting that will be really cool. So the all or nothing philosophy, if you have it, then we're going to work on getting rid of it, because it doesn't serve you. I had to get rid of mine. I was, a couple things when I was younger, I thought I wouldn't do a sport or anything unless I could be really good at it, because I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed if someone was watching me and I sucked at something, I wasn't good at it. I was really embarrassed. So I had to get rid of that. And finally I did. And, my older age, then I was doing adventure races, mountain runs, mountain biking, kayaking, all these things that paddleboarding, love to do. And I thought, I don't care. I got to learn them. I can't be perfect right away. And that's what happens with ditch the all or nothing attitude. You actually start living your life, right? You actually start doing things, saying, I don't care. Like, I don't care if it's not perfect. I'm just going to have fun. And you see those people, you watch those people, and don't you envy them? It's like, oh my God, I wish I could just be like that. They seem to be so full of life. They just go for it. They just do it, no matter how stupid they look, or if they fail tomorrow. and I love that. That's really about living your life. I also was really high raw for a while. And of course, I was teaching raw food classes and I was a raw food chef. I was working at a restaurant in Nanaimo. And so I felt I had to be perfect. I felt that, if someone saw me, what would they say if I was eating something outside of what I should be eating or having a beer or two? So I put a lot of pressure on myself for a while. And although I enjoyed the process and I enjoyed how my body felt and everything, there was a time when, after a year and a half, my body needed more. But also, I wanted to just relax a little bit. I'd go with girlfriends and it was always a struggle. What do I order? What do I order? I'd be at a restaurant and I'd be so bored. I'd be watching them eat this and that. And I'd be having another salad, and it's like I have salads every day all the time. Wouldn't it be nice to go to a restaurant and have something completely decadent outside of a salad that I really liked? So I ditched that attitude after a while because I finally realized that, and especially with working with women too, they were seeing me as the perfect 100%. And then if they couldn't achieve that while working with me, they would kind of feel like a failure, or they would keep apologizing. Like, I know you're like this, and I know you probably think, why can't, and I'd be like, oh my God, you have no idea. But I didn't say anything. I felt I had to stay this perfect image and never waver from it. But yet inside I was going, oh, I just wish I totally know what you mean. I was telling them one thing, you don't have to be perfect, you can go out and do this. And yet I was living a life where I was denying myself some of the things and it just became miserable. So no one was invited me over for dinner, and no friends. They would never, because it would be so much of a big production if they had me over for dinner, because they'd have to make something special, which they really didn't. But that's the way they felt. And my mom and my aunts or anybody like that, it was just, they wouldn't even try to attempt to cook anything for me. So it just made me feel bad in them, because I was really, truly trying to be too perfect. And so I hope that's, maybe you can relate to something like that and you're going to get something out of this. So really it's about eating what's right for you and living a life that's right for you. Now, this is my number one thing that I work with women now and what I worked with myself. It's taken me a while, and I'm now 52, and it's taken me quite a while to really say what's important to me, like to really understand and realize what's absolutely important to me, and how can I live a life with those things up front. Like how can I have those things in my life every day? And that is how you bring more happiness and joy into your life, and more satisfaction, more fulfillment. And, because we can walk through our days feeling blah, tired, fatigued, horrible in our physical symptoms, but you can also, each day, it can affect your emotions. Even feel a little depressed, feel a little like, why can't I do the things I want? Why can't I have the foods I love? Why do I gain weight with everything I eat? Why is everybody else being able to do this? And so, those thoughts can go through your head, and it brings you down, and it brings you in this state. And what happens is when your emotions start to go down, your energy will also start to decrease. So if you are fatigued already, having those types of thoughts, images, things in your head will also truly contribute to feeling completely unmotivated, feeling uninspired, unfulfilled, very tired, lethargic, not wanting to do anything. Maybe even you get to an apathetic part. You kind of go into the overwhelmed, the overexcited, the over-emotional, and then you get to a point where you just don't care anymore, and you get flat, and you kind of have no emotions whatsoever. And that is, you can go to your doctor, and a lot of times they'll put you on antidepressants, which is crazy because that just dulls all your emotions. You're already in that state, right? So what can you do about it, right? Well, it's really about looking at your life and saying, okay, what am I doing now? Like, what are some of the things you're doing now? Do you see patterns in your life? And, I've had to write these things out too, about what kind of things are going on in my life, what doesn't feel good to me, what feels right. And same with your body. Like, how exactly are you feeling? Have you written it down? Have you kind of thought about it? Or has it just become your normal? Do you remember a time when you felt really good? when you felt like really, really good, or you were down to this good weight of yours, and how long ago was that? And then what have you done to get yourself better since then? Like when you started feeling terrible, or did you let it get so out of hand now that you're like 60 pounds overweight? You could be feeling really terrible. So eventually over time, you just let yourself go, and you let itself go, and you let it go, and you let it go, and you didn't deal with it. And then you feel like, oh my God, I feel horrible and I've gained all this weight. And then it's so overwhelming to get yourself out, because, it's not just 5 or 10 pounds, it's 60 pounds, right? It's not just a little bit of discomfort, digestive or whatever. It's a whole bunch of things going on. So that could be happening too. And if you're at that spot, the all or nothing attitude, I tell you, will not work, because you're not even starting anything. So you're doing nothing, and you're just going to continue to get worse. Things don't magically get better at all for anybody, especially at this age of your life, especially at this age. You do not bounce back as fast. And especially if you have your moods, your thoughts and all that going downhill with you. And it tends to, right? As soon as your physical body starts to go down, you're feeling worse and worse, the moods can follow. And that's exactly what can happen, right? I don't want that to happen. Not at all. So it's really about saying, okay, I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do something. So what you could consider is something like the 80-20 rule, where 80% is good food and drinks, 20% is the stuff you love, and don't give up, and have it at that 20%. And I'm not talking about the fast food, McDonald's, KFC, things like that as the 20%. No, we're talking about still real food, right? Like for me, I eat really good in the summer, probably higher than 80%, but in the winter, I would say it's 80%. And I do eat cooked food, like I eat balance of raw and cooked food for sure, especially in the winter. But my 20%, the bad things may consist of like some peanut butter on a rice cake. I know that doesn't sound too bad. Last night I had a beer. That's why I'm so congested right now. And I had popcorn. And I buy organic popcorn, but for some reason it's really starting to bother me, the corn. So it's not good for me. So I've had organic, like popcorn with olive oil or coconut oil, which is fine, organic, it just happens to bother me. So, and a beer and French fries for me, and nachos. So a little thing of nachos and French fries would be my bad. That's my bad food. So something like that. And that obviously happens when I go out, in the evening with friends or something. So, or my daughter, then I'll have something like that. So that's my bad. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the real bad stuff, right? You really want to try to stay away from that. Oh, a bag of Lay's potato chips, plain. Any flavored potato chips or tortilla chips have preservatives on them. Any flavored stuff like that. And those are chemicals. Your body cannot process them. Your body stores toxins and fat. So the more chemicals and preservatives and junk you take in, and you can't detox fast enough, you're going to store it in fat. You will not let go of fat if it needs to store the toxins that are still in your body. And also stress. If you are in chronic stress, like stressed out all the time, every day, even a low grade of that, your body will not release fat. So there's things like that you need to get rid of. And that's why entering into some sort of a program or something where you get rid of all the preservatives and all that, the packaged food, the preservatives. And there's some that don't have, that's what I show you too. There's some things you can have that don't have the preservatives. And then they're okay. But you want to get all of that junk, preservatives, even light yogurt, even flavored yogurt, all of that junk, right? Because that is being stored in your body. And that's a huge reason why you cannot release the weight. And then, of course, it's working on the stress level. So it's working on, and what I have, like, clients, it's like even just 5 minutes at night, 5 minutes in the morning, 5 at night can make a huge difference on decreasing the stress in your body. And as well, your body has stress when you're not eating foods that are right for it. That adds stress to your body. So again, body in stress does not release weight. I might do another audio on that part, all the different things. So yeah, what I was talking about is your 20% can be they're got to be real foods, but they can be some of the real foods that, we know are not that great for us, but that's the types of foods we go out when we have appetizers and drinks with friends, things like that. And that's your wine and that's your beer every once in a while, right? So that's a good rule. But for every day, for most of the everyday, you want to find the foods that work best for you, that make you really feel your best, that feel great. And that just takes a little bit of tweaking. It took me a while, and at different stages of your life too, because when you're going through the perimenopause, you tend to could have a lot of digestive problems, food sensitivities, you get more headaches, you get more fatigued. So there's a lot of changes going on in your body. So hormonal shifts and changes. Those affect your mood, your weight, your health, everything. Your body happens to need way more minerals at that time because minerals help produce the protein, the hormones. So you really need to maybe take some good supplements for sure. I take them all the time, but especially at that phase, right? So there's various things you can do to support your body, knowing that if you're not, it's going to be a downhill slide because your body is in need of way more nutrients. And then, of course, when you come out of menopause, perimenopause, and you haven't had your period for a year or longer, your body does tend to regulate. Now, for me, because I changed what I ate when I was going through perimenopause, and I began to eat the foods that were exactly right for me, worked for me, and that were the right foods to eat at that phase of life, I lost weight. And that I went really high raw at that time. Now, you don't have to, because I got down to 96 pounds. That was pretty crazy. So we're not talking that you don't have to go that extreme, but by just following some of the simple rules and getting rid of certain foods. But at the same time, you're going to be bringing in a huge amount of really highly nutritious, lower calorie foods, along with some highly nutritious, nutrient dense, good fats, right? So having that balance, because your body needs the fat to really help to regulate the blood sugar levels too, right? You can't have too many carbohydrates, and vegetables are carbohydrates. We're not just talking about, the starchy foods. So you want to get rid of a lot of the heavier, starchier foods and bring in way, 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 way more of the vegetables, the greens, and the really good, healthy foods, right? And then finding what works for you, because every woman is different. So certain foods, like there's people who do better on a higher protein diet, and there's people who do better on a higher carbohydrate and less protein, especially meat. Now, you can be somebody who does great on more plant protein, but not good on meat protein because your body does not digest it very well. So you tend to get constipated, you tend to get bloated, you tend to feel very fatigued, very tired. That can be that meat is just not one of the things, like that type of meat protein. The dairy, very highly acidic. Highly acidic foods, dairy, alcohol, sugar, preservatives, junk food, fried foods, all of those cause inflammation within your body. Called inflammation, and that leads to illness and disease in the future. It really is really bad for your body. So getting rid of the foods that are highly acidic, and you can look that up online, and finding a balance between those and alkaline foods. So when you eat this way, it's not complicated at all, because you know exactly what foods that are good for your body, what foods aren't. You also do not have to weigh your food. You do not have to count calories. You do not have to worry, oh my God, is this right? Like, how much of this? When should I eat this? That is, no wonder people fall off those diets. You don't have to worry about all of that. It's so uncomplicated and it's so easy. You take all that complication and confusion right out of it. And all the diets, there's so many diets that tell you, you must do this, you must do that, you must do this and this and that. And that is bad. There's so much conflicting information. I think that's the worst, is conflicting information. People don't know if this is really good for them or not, because one person says it is, the other person says it isn't. But you know what? That's because there is not one thing that works for everybody. So for one person, they could say, this works for me and this didn't, so stay away from this. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to be good for you. And you could try eating exactly like they eat. You may gain weight. You may feel horrible, right? So that's what I really help women work through, is what is going to be right for you and how you know what's right for you. Because that is what you want to find. Don't you want to be at a place in your life where it's like, oh my God, this eating, I get it. It's so much easier. I don't have to sit and wonder. I can go to a restaurant. I know right away how to order. I know what to say. I know what I need to eat. If I go to a party or someone's dinner, you know what you can eat more of, what you can eat less of. You know what to say no to, what to say yes to. It just makes it so much easier. And that's when you begin, because your body is starting to be more balanced, right? That's when the weight comes off, the stress decreases, you digestive problems may just completely disappear or really, decrease. You won't experience those headaches like you will. You'll sleep so much better, right? You sleep so much better. You don't have that foggy head anymore. You start to think clearer. You're able to focus. Your skin starts looking way better, way clear, right? And glowing. You don't have the extreme emotions or mood swings anymore because your body just becomes a little more balanced. When you get the right nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals, the essential fatty acids, the amino acids, trace minerals, all those things that the cells of your body need as fuel and food, so that your whole body can work better, and that your cells can produce more healthy cells, because we're really shedding cells. We're losing cells every day and growing new ones. They're multiplying new ones. So you want those new ones to be healthy. You don't want them to be sick, diseased, and all screwed up, because that can happen, right? Cells, when the communication within the body isn't working right, you won't produce new healthy cells. And what helps the communications in the body, the cells communicate, is the food. They have to have the right nutrients. Nutrients from the vegetables, the fruits, the greens, some of the grains, the starches, whatever, but all the nutrients from your healthy food, which could include some super powders, which could include some superfoods, which could include some nutrients, some supplements that you would take because you are not getting enough in the actual food, right? So all of these things come into play, but it's not complicated. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's really, really not. And learning about how stress affects you, right? Your adrenal glands. And if your adrenal glands are burnt out, you can't produce your estrogen that well over a certain age. So then you gain more fat in the midsection. Stress will put weight on in the belly. And then when your adrenal glands are burnt out, then it can start affecting thyroid. Well, we know what happens when your thyroid gets sluggish: more weight gain, exhausted, tired, feeling cold all the time. It affects your moods, get more depressed. So everything kind of works off each other. And that's why it's so important to make sure that you're feeding your body right, so your body can work. It's very intelligent, very intelligent. It knows what to do when fed the right nutrients. Without the right nutrients, there's malnutrition. The cells aren't communicating properly. You're not getting the food your body needs. Your body will start to break down. Just like a car will slowly break down if you don't take care of it. Your body's exactly the same, right? Exactly the same. So crucial. And if you look around you, I want you to just think, how many people do you know in your life that have cancer or have had cancer? Maybe even MS. How about diabetes, right? That's huge right now. What about fibromyalgia? What about Lyme's disease? What about, there's all these different things, right? Any autoimmune disease. There are things right now that are crazy out there. It's increasing. And with all the research and the money going into research, I think cancer is at its all-time high. So really, that isn't happening, is it? What you need to focus on is prevention. Prevention. Do not wait until you get to the part where you have the disease, where you have the illness. So dis-ease, like we talked about earlier, when you feel some sort of dis-ease in your body, that is time to take action, because dis-ease leads to disease. And you don't want to all of a sudden be at the great age of retirement or whatever and be so sick, or have cancer or something where, pretty much you have a very low quality of life after that. So how do you want to live your life, right? How do you want to feel? It is your choice. This is what people don't understand. I cannot state it enough, and I might sound angry here. It is your choice. And don't say, no, it's not. I don't have enough time. I don't have this. Yes, you do. And if you don't, it's time to damn well make time, because the consequence of not taking care of your body, oh my God, do you really want that? Like, that is what shocks me. That's what shocks me when people. So get out of the all or nothing attitude. Learn to take an attitude of, I'm going to do something, 1, 2, 3 things every single day that's going to lead me towards feeling better, whether it's 1 or 2 green smoothies. That's what I'm going to start with, and do that for 2 weeks, and I'm going to walk a half an hour, 10 minutes, even a day. Things like that. You need to start taking action. Once you begin to feel better, that just moves you into more action. But staying stuck, staying where you are, not taking any action, keeps you where you are. And actually, it's not even that. It gets worse. So don't even think that, I'm okay the way I am. Well, it's not going to stay that way. Everything's in motion. It's going to either get worse or it's going to get better. What do you want? So what I have coming up is I have an 8-week program, which Diana Marchand /8, the letter 8, number 8 dash weeks. You can take a look at that page. Now that is taking you from wherever you are now, all the recipes, all the meal plans. So it gives you everything that you need to do this consistently, right? And you have all the tools, you have all the good foods. It's important to replace what you're trying to get rid of with a whole bunch of good stuff so you don't even miss it. Your cravings will greatly decrease. You will sleep better. You will probably lose weight. You will definitely detox a little bit. You will, skin's going to look way better. You're definitely going to have more energy. That's because you're bringing in so much of the great, highly nutritious foods because you have the recipes, you know how to prepare them, you learn everything. I have videos for you how to do it, what these foods are, where to buy them, everything. And then we have a call once a week that's live, and you can ask me questions. I go over one topic every single week, right? And so it's keeping you continually accountable and motivated all the time. You're given all the information, and believe me, it's not overwhelming because you got to eat and you got to prepare foods anyways. So this is really for someone like who maybe has no idea where to start or what to do or what foods are good. You don't even know what you should be eating in the breakfast. So the 8-week program is really for someone like that. That will tell you, oh my God, by the end of it, you will have so much to continue on. And you'll learn a great deal. It's definitely will be like, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought. I totally get it. And you will learn what's best for your body during that period of time. And okay, so my other thing that I'm going to be starting, which is brand new, is a weekly call. It's like a video. You can be on video or you can just be on a call. You don't have to show yourself, but you see me on a video and it's a group, and you're going to be able to ask questions, and we're going to cover a topic, each week, and we're going to move you along. So if somebody has done my programs, if somebody has, done even my 14-day, so you kind of know what smoothies are, you know how to prepare them, you've got some recipes, you already know, okay, I know what I'm supposed to be eating. You probably have the blender, the food processor, you may even have a dehydrator. You have known this stuff. It's just you're not sticking to it. You're not, because you have no one to be accountable to. You're falling off all the time. You're being motivated, then unmotivated. You're jumping back and forth, on and on. Then this is for you. So it's a weekly call. Like I said, kind of in a group call. They'll be recorded and they will be sent to you. And it's really about keeping you accountable, keeping you motivated. We're going to work on stress. We're going to work on mindset stuff to keep, to get you out of some stuff you could be dealing with, which could include some emotional eating stuff. It's definitely the motivation, the inspiration, the how to, because I answer all your questions each week. So you may come up against something during the week. You may have to deal with something and you're like, I'm just not sure how to deal with it. And sometimes just talking it out with someone, getting suggestions, somebody who's an objective observer, it's not part of your life, that can just solve it like that. You will get a big aha moment and go, oh my God, you're so right. You're so right. I needed this. Thank you, right? That is what we're going to do every week. I'm so excited about this. It's going to be just ongoing week to week, and you just pay one lower monthly fee, and it's going to be a lower monthly fee. Believe me, not a lot. It's like the weekly fee will be anywhere from $15 to $20 a week for this, which is nuts. Okay, nuts. I'm going to start it at that. So you want to get in at that lower cost because this is like, I want to see how this goes. It's an experiment. It's going to be fantastic. Weekly, ongoing. Can you imagine just week to week, you have somebody who is there for you, right? It's exciting. May even put a few workouts in there. We're going to do whatever works for the group. So I'm very excited about that. I haven't set up the page for that, but you can email me, diana@dianamarchand.com. I will send you more information, and I'm going to be getting more information out there about that too. And watch my Facebook page, Women Creating Healthy Lives with Passion and Purpose, because I'll be talking about it on there. Well, I hope I helped a little bit today. And just remember, the all or nothing attitude's not getting you anywhere. If you're not sure if you have it, just talk to yourself a little bit more. Listen to the audio again. You'll figure it out if you have it or not. Try to do something consistently for a while, even if it's like one green smoothie a day for sure. No excuses. Just go without having to be perfect. Okay, take care and subscribe to my YouTube, dianamarchand.com. And you know where my site is, dianamarchand.com. Great. Thanks, everyone. Have a fabulous day.